All month long here on Ravens Rundown, we are in a sub-battle with Bengals Breakdown, hosted by our frenemy, Tom Downey and company over there. And we are a little bit behind in this back and forth between our AFC North rivals, as they have 134 new subscribers this month. We're at 122. We got some work to do. We want to show why we have the best fans, not just in the AFC North, but across the National Football League. Subscribe now for free today. Never miss a moment of what's happening with your favorite team. We got you covered. Lock us in for free, and we'll get started with today's show. Glad to have you with us here on Ravens Rundown. I am the somewhat capable host, Tyler Jones, here, as we are talking about surprise trade targets for your Baltimore Ravens. I got three players that are on the trade block with their respective teams. And what we're going to do is we'll talk about the possibility of how these three individuals could fit with the Baltimore Ravens and what potential trade could look like. So without further ado, let's get started with Treylon Burks, wide receiver from the Tennessee Titans. It has been a bad go of it for Treylon Burks the last two seasons with the Tennessee Titans. He was brought in as the replacement, if you will, for A.J. Brown, and it has been a disappointment to say the least. But think about this side of things. If we're going to give Treylon Burks the benefit of the doubt for a moment, I think it's only fair to factor in that Burks has not been set up well at all, that team has been a dumpster fire. The quarterback play has just been atrocious the last couple of seasons. You could be looking at a situation where this is somebody that just needs to get out of their situation. Treylon Burks needs a fresh start and to get the hell out of Tennessee, because it has just been a disaster of what's going on with that organization. Former first-round pick out of Arkansas. He's had a career average about 13.6 yards per reception, 21 career games played with 14 starts in his first two seasons in the NFL. And the numbers aren't too great, folks. Hide the women and children. Hide your eyes, because these aren't great. His first year had a total of 33 catches for 444 yards and a touchdown. Last year, the numbers went down. His receptions were cut in half from 33 to 16. His yardage also cut in half as well, from 441 yards to 221 yards. Did not get in the end zone. His yards per reception did go up to 13.8. You look at the Ravens receiving corps. They're trying to find that fourth receiver, right? We know that Zay Flowers is back, coming off a outstanding rookie campaign in 2023. Rashad Bateman just got that extension. He's got a lot to prove this year to see if he can step up and be that number two guy. Nelson Agholor, not bad to be your number 3 or 4 receiver, but just not knowing what version of Rashad Bateman's going to show up, the Ravens could use another potential option, and they could get Treylon Burks pretty cheap, considerably speaking, for a former first-round pick. What do you think? Should the Ravens trade for Treylon Burks? It's our pinned comment today. Your chance to be Eric DeCosta. Let us know what you think. Why for yes, N for no in the comment section. Tell me if you think the Ravens should make this trade or not. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. Choose 2 or more players on any given category. Get the choice of more or less. I got to tell you, I'm excited about the PGA Championship this week. I'm going to be putting down some of these slips when it comes to birdies. That's what I'm watching for. I'm also looking at NBA playoff action, NHL playoffs, also looking ahead to the start of the NFL season. You can mix and match different leagues as well. I got DK Metcalf to have more than 1,025.5 receiving yards. Lamar Jackson to have more than 3,600.5 passing yards. If I put $20 down, both these hits, it's going to turn to $60 in Prize Picks. Play along with us, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS for a $100 deposit match on your first deposit. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Download Prize Picks today. Next up, we find Budda Baker. Budda. I got to tell you, I am surprised that Budda Baker is still with the Arizona Cardinals. I feel like we've talked about trade rumors with Budda Baker for years now at this point. Remember when he requested that trade out of Arizona? He's still waiting, would like to get out of there. The Arizona Cardinals had a very good draft this year, but he doesn't fit the timeline of what the Arizona Cardinals are at. That's a team that's slowly rebuilding, right? And Budda Baker, in the back end of his prime at this point in time, he's a proven star. I think he would solidify the Ravens as the best defense in the NFL without a doubt if you put him in this safety room. I like the fit for the Baltimore Ravens if you want to bring him on board potentially. Him get out of that Arizona situation, go play for a team that's a championship contender next year. And at this juncture, now that Budda Baker has sat so long on the trade market, if you will, I don't think that his price tag is nearly as high as it once was potentially because of the money you got to take on. And not to mention, Budda Baker had a down year last year. Did not have a single interception, no pass breakups, 87 tackles, 5 tackles for loss. If you're Arizona, you might as well trade him now while you can still get something significant for him, if you will. I think you put him in that John Harbaugh defense, a defense that likes to use 3 safeties. Watch out. He, Marcus Williams, Kyle Hamilton. Ooh, that sounds like a lot of fun to me. Should the Ravens trade for Budda Baker? What do you think? T for trade, P for pass. Should they make a move to bring in the Arizona Cardinals safety? Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think. The last player on our list, the last is Terrence Marshall, Carolina Panthers wide receiver. Another player that's been talked about in trade rumors for quite some time. The Carolina Panthers, just a disastrous team the last couple of years. They've had so many problems. They keep unloading talent, moving on, trying to get something while they can. And, you know, similar to Burks, I think Marshall is a guy that we've seen the flashes, right? We know that he's got talent, but hasn't been able to put it all together. The quarterback play has been inconsistent. The offensive line has been a mess. But even with that said, there is still a very good possibility that this just kind of is who he is, right? I think you have to mention that he has not been put into a position to succeed in Carolina, so maybe a fresh start would do him wonders potentially. But here's what I mean as far as, like, the flashes go. The Ravens' offense needs a deep threat, a guy with that big playability, if you will. Marshall could potentially be that for Baltimore. He averaged a career-high 17.5 yards per reception back in 2022. So he's got that. That would add a whole nother dynamic to this Ravens offense. But what they can't afford is to see the version of him that we saw in 2023, when he went from 17 yards of reception all the way down to 7.3, right? His total receptions went from 28 to 19, only 139 yards. Carolina, I don't think there's much you can get from Marshall at this point. The Ravens have plenty of draft capital that they could potentially choose from with those comp picks they're getting next year and everything. I think you could potentially get Marshall for peanuts here, realistically speaking. I think he could be a very good fit to be your number 4 receiver where it doesn't cost you a ton. He's not going to command a whole lot of money. And he changes up the offense, adds another deep threat here. To me, that's a risk that I'm willing to take if I'm the Baltimore Ravens. Who's a player the Ravens should trade for? We've talked about a few today, from Budda Baker to Terrence Marshall to Treylon Burks. Who do you want to see the Baltimore Ravens pick up? Let us know in the comment section. Give me a name or 2 or 3 or 4. I don't care. Weigh in, let us know, Flock, who you would like to see the Baltimore Ravens trade for. And if the Ravens trade for any of the players we're talking about today, you know, we're going to make a video here on the channel and break it down as we always do. Subscribe now, youtube.com/RavensTV for continuing Ravens offseason coverage here on the channel. There is no offseason here on Ravens Rundown. We'll continue to bring you our daily news and rumors along with any breaking news that happens. We got you covered each and every day here on Ravens Rundown. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/RavensTV. Plenty more to come throughout the next couple days. Lock us in, and we will see you next time. I'm Tyler Jones saying so long.